All right, guys, today we are going to be covering converting metric units. So this is going over our Chapter 8, Lesson 2. So we are going to be introducing the metric system today. So it's important to remember in the metric system, the value of each place is 10 times greater than the value of the place to its right. Meaning if it is going to the right or to the left, it's getting bigger. If it's going to the right-hand side, it's getting smaller. So think of your decimal place values when doing this, and it'll be helpful. It's always important to remember that there are 3 units of measure when we're dealing with the metric units, dealing with meters, liters, and grams. They are going to be annotated with an M for meter, an L for liter, and a G for gram. That is going to be your suffix. You do have prefixes for each one of them. Most commonly, we are going to be seeing the D, and that is going to stand for the decimeter. Okay. Even smaller than that is the C, which will be put in front of the M, L, or G for centimeter. And then the final place that we're going to be dealing with today is then your millimeters, which is going to be annotated with an M. So it would be MM, ML, or MG for milligrams. So that takes care of your prefixes for your smaller side. As we're getting bigger from your meters, liters, or grams, we are going to be dealing with deca. Oh, sorry, that's supposed to be a K. And that was going to be with a D, A, to keep it separate from the D and the confusion for the decimeters. Okay, next up is going to be hecto, which will be annotated with an H in front of an M, L, or G. And then finally, the last place value that we're going to be dealing with today is going to be kilo for kilograms, kiloliters, or kilometers. All right, so those are the prefixes that we're going to be dealing with today. It is important to remember if you move to the left, you are going to divide or you're moving your decimal place to the left. If you are moving your conversion to the right on your table, you are going to be multiplying or you're going to be moving your decimal place to the right. So some different examples that we have for you today. So let's say that we have 67.5 kilograms and we want to convert that then to meters. And I'm just going to use the abbreviations for each. So we want to figure out what we're going to have to do to the kilograms to get from meters. We're going to go and look at our table up above and we're going to see what we need to do. So we're going from kilograms to meters. So if we do that, we're going to start at the kilograms and we're going to count and see how far we need to move. 1, 2, 3. We are moving 3 place values. One of the easiest ways to do this is just to move our decimal point. Everything is in values of 10, so it's easiest to do it that way. Since we are moving over to the right, we are going to move our decimal point to the right, so we're going to go ahead and move that. 1, 2, 3. Our decimal point is now at the end. Any empty spaces I'm going to fill with zeros. So my answer for this one now is 67,500 meters. And I already have my label written right there. If you prefer to use multiplication, we can do that. We will take our 67.5 and we are going to multiply that by how many places we moved it over. Once again, we're dealing with bases of 10, making it a lot easier as we move it. This will tell us how many zeros we're going to have to add behind our 1. So since we moved at 3 place values, we are multiplying then by 1,000. If we would do that multiplication there, we would still get the same answer of 67,500. So whichever way you feel most comfortable with, go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and do another one here. Let's do 22 centimeters. And we're going to change that to millimeters, okay? So from here, we're going to go from centimeters. We're going to find that on our table, and we want to move it to millimeters. 1. Notice that we moved it to the right back up on our table, so that means we are moving our decimal once again to the right. So if we do that, we have 22. Notice there is no decimal in our problem, so we're going to go ahead and put 1 in. We can go ahead and put a decimal point at the end of our number and it will not change its value. Since we moved it 1 to the right on top, we are going to move our decimal place 1 to the right here. Our new decimal point, fill in that empty spot with a 0. So here we have 220 millimeters. Once again, if you prefer multiplication, we would take our 22 times, we moved it over one place value, so there's going to be 1 0 after our 1. Multiply that together, we are going to get our 220. All right, we're going to do a couple more problems. Make our a little bit more room on our paper, so I'm going to go ahead and erase these other problems. Okay. All right, so another problem we're going to do is let's do 6 kilograms. So once again, our prefix is going to stay the same. Here we're seeing that we are switching over to a different conversion, so we're dealing with grams now, a different unit of measure. We want to change that now to milligrams. Okay, so just like before, we are going to move. So we need to figure out what we need to do to kilograms to get over to milligrams. Go up to your table and count and see how far you go. Start at kilograms and count over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I move it 6 places. So I'm going to write down my 6 down here. Once again, there's no decimal point, so I'm going to put it at the end so it does not change my value. And I'm going to move it 6 place values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Fill in my missing or my loops with the zeros. So our answer for this one is going to be 6 million milligrams. Finally, we're going to go ahead and do 4.6. So luckily on this one, we already have our decimal in our problem. 4.6 centiliters, CL, equals, and we want to change that now to decaliters. Notice here we have the DA here, so we know that we're going to decaliters. All right, go up here. What you're going to notice is we are now going to be going for centiliters to decaliters, but now instead of moving to the right, we are going to have to move to our left. So that is going to change how we do our problem. 1, 2, 3. I have now moved it over 3 place values to the left. I'm going to rewrite it as a decimal. And now I'm going to move it. Since I moved my place value to the left, my decimal point is now going to move to the left. 1, 2, 3 places. My new decimal point goes here. Fill in the empty loops with my zeros. Since I don't like to have a blank spot for my whole number, I am going to put a 0 in front. So my answer here for decaliters is then going to be 0.0046, or we can also think about it in the form of division. We moved it 3 place values to the left, so 4.6. Instead of doing multiplication, since we are getting a smaller answer, we are going to use division. Moving to the left, we will use division. 4.6, 3 place values, so we are going to have 3 zeros. It would still give you the same answer of 0.0046. These are the same notes that we did in class, so if you have them right in front of you, you can look back and just listen to my teaching. Hope this helps.